What's happening, world? B Marsh Boxing back at it with another boxing video. So Joshua Buatsi, bronze medalist 2016 Olympics for England. He's undefeated right about now. I think his record is probably like 15-0. You know what I'm saying? Very good fighter. He's a guy that I was watching from the Olympics. He was a guy I was even conversating with during the Olympics. He's a guy who, when any videos that I did about him when he was in the amateurs, he would like them and retweet them, you know what I'm saying, from my Twitter, you know what I'm saying? So that made me actually, have more. He's 12-0 with 10 KOs, as a matter of fact. And that, when he was doing that, that made me actually want to follow this guy's whole career because, I wasn't just specifically covering him in the Olympics, in the 2016 Olympics, man. I covered everybody. Hassan Boy Dusmatov, Carlos Valderez, Shakur Stevenson, the Colombian kid. What's the Colombian guy? The Colombian kid, the Cuban kid. I covered all the guys. The Kenyan fighter who beat Lubin, Peter Warui. I covered all of them. F.A. Jagba, when he sparked out that Trinidadian and put him to sleep, face down, ass up, in the Olympics. So I appreciated Joshua Buatsi, you know what I'm saying, retweeting and liking them particular videos, especially the ones I did about him, you know what I mean? But Joshua Buatsi, dogs, this is his fourth year as a pro, okay? You know what I'm saying? Joshua Buatsi came on the scene in 2017, you know what I mean? Basically a year later, you know what I'm saying? A year after the Olympics in July of 2017. So give or take 3 years. 3 years he's been a pro, a bronze medalist, you know what I mean? I would think at this stage of his career, he would be due for a title shot, you know what I mean? The guy hasn't fought since August of 2019, and I do recall that he was supposed to have a fight with what's that guy's name? Blake Camparello, the guy from Australia, a guy that Sergey Kovalev defended his title, a guy who put Sergey Kovalev on the canvas. You know what I'm saying? Damn, man. Holy something trying to fuck up my video, man. Cutting grass out here, man. So, like I said, Joshua Buatsi, I would think you'd be due for a world title shot sooner than later, at least in 2020, you know what I mean? You would think a guy who's a bronze medal Olympian would be kind of fast tracked, but it seems like they're not really fast tracking it, and he seems like he's not that active. Now, I'm not going to blame the COVID 19, and I do believe COVID 19 has also postponed one of his fights. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I think they need to fast track this guy. A guy like Lawrence Okoli was a guy also in the 2020 whatever 2016 Rio Olympics, and he looks like he's ready for a title shot with the WBA. He holds some kind of minor WBA belt, just like Joshua Buatsi. You know what I mean? Now, Joshua Buatsi might be looking at a guy like he might be in line to fight Dmitry Bivol for the 175-pound title. Is the guy ready? You know what I mean? You check it. Is Joshua Buatsi ready for a world title? You know what I'm saying? That's the question. Like I said, 13 or 12-0. You know what I mean? And he's one of England's best talents. You know what I'm saying? This is a guy who I think can actually go far in boxing as far as the light heavyweight division. You know what I mean? But we want to see this guy get tested. You know what I'm saying? And I think he himself wants to be in position sooner than later to get an opportunity at a world title. A man like Arthur Beterbiev, the lineal and the unified champion in the 175-pound division, he holds the WBC and the IBF title. He got a mandatory next. He's supposed to face some guy. I forgot the guy's name. I think it's some guy Meng Fanglong or something, a guy from China or something. You know what I mean? Um, Arthur Beterbee's 15-0 with 15 KOs. This guy Buatsi's 12-0 with 10 KOs. Both of them have extensive amateur background. You know what I mean? The man Joshua Buatsi is also an intelligent guy. All while he was an amateur, the man also graduated from college, from university out there in England, and the guy has a degree. I forgot in what field of what his major was for his degree. You know what I'm saying? But I think 2020. Luke Campbell was a guy who took a long time also for him being a gold medalist to get a world title shot. But that's because Luke Campbell had a loss on his way up. You know what I mean? To the Mendy kid, Mendy, guy from France, Yves Mendy. But he avenged that loss. Joshua Buatsi has no losses. To my recollection, he hasn't had no significant like domestic rivalry type of fights. You know what I mean? I think a fight between him and Anthony Yard would be excellent. He did fight a former top 10 contender in Marco Antonio Paraban. I would believe, I'd say Marco Antonio Paraban and Reynold Quinlan are the best names on his resume. But look, man, guys like what's his name, man, Arthur Beterbiev, they want an opportunity to face Joshua Buatsi, and he'll come to United Kingdom to do it. You know what I mean? What better opportunity for Joshua Buatsi to elevate his name and become a unified light heavyweight champion by bringing this guy to his backyard in London? You know what I'm saying? I would think that would be a great fight. Is the guy ready for the fight right about now? Probably not. Maybe he should get a fight with Callum Smith. You know what I mean? Callum Smith, it's not Callum Smith, excuse me, Callum Johnson. Callum Johnson's 18-1 with 13 KOs, and he's a banger and a brawler. You know what I'm saying? He's definitely would test the man Joshua Buatsi's chin, and we'll see whether Joshua Buatsi can maintain and overcome the pressure that Callum Johnson would apply on him. But then again, does Callum Johnson want this fight? I'm pretty sure Eddie Hearn would like to make this fight sooner than later, but Callum Johnson want to get that opportunity. I think Callum Johnson should take the fight with Buatsi and the winner face either Bivol or the unified champion in Arthur Beterbiev. It's only right? Because Callum Johnson did lose to Arthur Beterbiev, you know what I mean? Put the man Arthur Beterbiev on the canvas, you know what I'm saying? But then he got dropped, and it was a wrap after that. You know what I'm saying? He got knocked out. You know what I mean? But I'm really looking forward to what Joshua Buatsi wants to do. You know what I mean? Um, Arthur Beterbiev doesn't really care who or where he fights. You know what I mean? And he's not a household name in America. He's not really a big commodity in Canada where he's based. So let's make that fight happen. You know what I mean? Fight your mandatory Arthur Beterbiev, or better yet, look, what is Dmitry Bivol doing? You know what I mean? I'm not really sold on Dmitry Bivol, to be honest. You know what I mean? I'm not. What's he really doing? I'd like to see that fight with Buatsi versus Dmitry Bivol. You know what I mean? So in this particular instance, I'm not going to say Eddie Hearn is holding this guy back. You know what I'm saying? Because Eddie Hearn is actually trying to look for a fight between Callum Johnson and Buatsi. Like I said, I'm not sure Callum Johnson really, like the British people say, I don't think Callum Johnson really fancies that fight right about now. You know what I mean? But that's a good step forward to stepping up to the world title stage. You know what I mean? World class elite level. You know what I mean? Joshua Buatsi, I think, has a bright future. But I do think one thing I can actually probably blame Eddie Hearn for is, the guy's been a excuse me, the guy's been a pro for 3 years now, since 2017. You know what I mean? We're in 2020 now. Look at a guy like Teofimo Lopez, and Teofimo Lopez didn't even medal. Teofimo Lopez ain't getting no medal in the Olympics. Look at Teofimo Lopez in like 12, 13 fights. He's a world champion. You know what I mean? You check it. Lawrence Okoli. You know what I'm saying? Lawrence Okoli, has had big domestic fights already in England versus that Chamberlain kid. It was a very awful fight to watch. I ain't gonna lie about that. And I'm not gonna lie, Lawrence Okoli's style is not that pleasing. You know what I mean? It's not the best style but he gets it done. You know what I'm saying? Um, what's that last guy he fought? Yves Gamble, and that was a pretty nice knockout. So he's been getting some knockouts actually, like three in a row from the Camacho when he stopped him. You know what I mean? So you know this guy's, I believe, a European cruiser champion in Lawrence Okoli. You know what I'm saying? But what about Joshua Buatsi? What kind of trinkets does he have? I think he wants some kind of British um, Commonwealth title or something. I'm not too positive. You know what I mean? Let me make sure I look it up one time, man. I don't. I want to give y'all the correct. So he has himself a WBA, and he's had it for a while since 2018. World Box WBA International Light Heavyweight title. Yeah, it's now time to step up and fight the big boys, man. Get yourself a real WBA super 168, 100, what is it, 175-pound title. You know what I mean? So I'm looking forward to see what Joshua Buatsi does. Hopefully, Eddie Hearn could keep this guy active as when boxing resumes. So, what are we in 2020? If boxing, let's say, comes back by summer or late summer, I think Joshua Buatsi should have 2 to 3 fights before this year ends. You know what I mean? Then 2021, in his fourth year of eligibility as a pro, go ahead, let's go for the gusto, man. Get yourself a world title shot. Maybe you can have the man, what's his name, come over there to the United Kingdom. Either Bivol will come. Bivol ain't got no fan base nowhere on the planet. I don't know what he does even in Russia as far as whether he can draw a crowd out there because I haven't really seen no fights of him in Russia, you know what I mean? Ever since he became world champion. The British fans will come through to see Joshua Buatsi contend for a world title, whether it's against Bivol or the unified lineal champion in Arthur Beterbiev. So time will tell. We shall see. Be Marsh Box. Leave your thoughts and comments. Let me know what y'all think about Joshua Buatsi. You think his progression's kind of slow right about now, or do you think he's due for a world title shot sooner than later? Leave your thoughts and comments. I'm gone. And whoever you are in the chat, hit that motherfucking thumbs up. I see you. Ha ha.